Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for, I don't know, I think it's the week of January 10th. Honestly, I didn't look. I don't know. I think it's the week of the 10th. But anyway, this is going to be your weekly reading. We're going to stop wasting time, and we're going to just jump right in here and see what is going on for you this week, Pisces. The Ace of Pentacles did come up reversed. I don't read reversals, but it is interesting. We will take a look at it. Again, obviously, I messed this deck up somehow, so again, I would just ignore the reversals. I read intuitively. It really doesn't affect the way I read or anything like that. This is an amazing reading for you, Pisces. This is basically, again, just like I did a couple weeks ago, this is a Celtic cross. Even though it doesn't look like a Celtic cross, you're going to have to just use your imagination. In your current general energies, you have the Page of Swords. And Pisces, I feel that you need to use your imagination just a little bit more at this time with this Page of Swords energy. I'm pretty sure it was you. I'm actually not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was you in your January readings that there was something coming up about like needing to be more imaginative, needing to kind of jump into that, dream world a little bit more, because that's probably where you get your best ideas. And that's kind of like what I feel here is that I do feel there is a little bit of a block in the flow this week. Not a big deal. Again, this is not something to worry about. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think you can open it right up, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I do kind of just feel there's maybe a little bit of a, flow blockage, we'll call it, or something like that. And I think it has to do with kind of this Page of Swords energy, maybe being a little bit too logical, maybe being a little bit too 3D. And trust me, I'm a big fan of being 3D, right? I'm the total opposite of most spiritual people. I believe that we are here to have a human experience. I don't believe we are here to have a spiritual experience. I think there's a difference between being spiritual and being a cuckoo nut job, right? That does sweat lodges in the desert and goes nuts, right? It's like there's a time and a place, don't get me wrong, and I'm all about sweat lodges and all that other stuff, but some people go overboard, right? But I'm giving you permission this week to go nuts. Like if you want to go do ayahuasca in the middle of the jungle, I'd say this would be the week, because I feel like there needs to be like a little bit more of that Pisces dreamy spiritual energy going on here. It just seems like that's what's being blocked off here. You have the Empress as your crossing energy. This is the blockage. The Empress, she kind of represents this creative energy. She is the sign of, she is a card of being very creative and nurturing. She comes from unlimited ideas as well. There's this waterfall right here, Pisces, and that waterfall is flowing to her. She understands that she comes from never-ending source abundance. She understands that she comes from infinite source intelligence, and that there's never a lack of ideas, there's never a lack of creativity, there's never a lack of anything, and she understands that. And she kind of is a little bit magical. She even has a planchette right here, a planchette from like a Ouija board. You can see it right here. So she kind of dives into that more spiritual side, the more nurturing Mother Nature kind of woo-woo side of things. And for whatever reason, that's what's popping into my head for you this week, is that woo-woo kind of maybe you need to tap into that side of things just this week. And like I said, I'm the total opposite of most spiritual people. I believe that we are here in 3D for a reason. We're here to have an experience. It's like a lot of spiritual teachers try to get people to think 5D, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what I am saying is you can get lost in that sort of energy. But this week, I feel it's very important that you do. In the area of your thoughts, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting that it came up in reverse. Ace of Pentacles in reverse could be like a missed opportunity, and I do feel that for you here, Pisces, that some of you, maybe you do feel like you had a missed opportunity, or maybe you feel like something didn't reach its full potential. And when I said that, I kind of got like a little bit of a ding going off in my head. So I feel like that is more the energy that something, didn't take off, something didn't reach its full potential in the recent past. Even though this is coming up in the area of your thoughts, I do feel intuitively that this is something that maybe it feels like it has like a wall built around it, is the kind of like how I'm seeing it in my head, which is pretty weird. It's like the opportunity exists, but it's like you're gonna have to climb this wall. I think there's stuff growing all over this wall as well that I'm seeing in my head, but it might be like thorns, It's like if you had to climb over a wall with thorns, you might get hurt or you might get injured. And I think that your thought is like on some sort of beautiful opportunity. It's a big fat pentacle, Pisces, and this could be any opportunity. I know I'm speaking very generally, but for most of you, I do feel this is a very general thing. It could be love. It's clearly something that brings you happiness here, Pisces, with the sun showing up. It's kind of interesting as well. This diagonal ends with the tower up here, and the tower is coming up kind of like in a position that could represent like the next few months here, Pisces. And we'll talk about this in a minute. This is not something that I would worry about or that I would be concerned about. But what I would say is that it's interesting that it's coming up there because it's like a change in your beliefs is going to be the thing that causes the tower moment and then leads to a new beginning. Ace of Wands being your next card. So I kind of see that tower as a good thing, not a bad thing, actually. Sometimes the tower can be positive. To me, the tower is always positive because the tower has to happen. I think that when readers say that the tower is a bad card, it's a general lack of understanding when it comes to the tarot because it's like, number one, tarot isn't meant to be good or bad, number one. Number two, the tower isn't really meant to be bad. Yeah, it can seem bad on the surface, but it's meant to be a life-changing experience, whatever the tower is. It's meant to, open your awareness as well. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the Two of Swords. It's like not wanting to look at something, not wanting to maybe look at some of the things that you have to go through. It's almost like I see... I see this like clear case around something as well in my head. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen protective cases for like cards. It's like, when people collect something, for example, that maybe they put it in a protective case. I'm seeing this Two of Swords as something inside of you being put in this protective case. It's like you want to keep something pristine. It's like you want to keep something perfect, but it's at the same time, it kind of is there's something that's lacking character is what's popping into my head with this Two of Swords energy. Very strange reading. I haven't had a reading that kind of goes into this sort of stuff for you, Pisces, in a very long time. And I'm not saying you lack character, but what I'm saying is that something being revealed, something coming out inside of you is going to be the thing that, creates character, creates more character in your life. And, it's like sometimes I think when we try to keep something or, make something perfect, then it really just never, we create nothing, it's like nothing exists. It's like when you think about it as well, I think, here's what I'll say. Tower coming up right next to it, right, Pisces? It's like there are many, myths and there are many stories about like, the princess that's kept in the castle. It's like she's, kept in the tower and they try to, keep her pure or whatever, right? And they never allow her out into the real world. For some reason that's popping into my head. I really don't know what that means, Pisces. But that type of like mythology, that type of story is popping into my head. It's like something in your life is like the princess in the castle. It's like, it's not being let out or it's not being exposed to the real world because it's like you're trying to keep it pure. But like in doing that, you're preventing it from developing. You're preventing it from developing character. Very interesting. Let's dig more into this because we're going to have to see where this goes. Next, you have the Sun as your center card here. This is the area of your past. The Sun, he has this wall built up behind him, this little baby or the child that is on the Sun card. The wall can represent the wall that we build up kind of like against our inner child. So I feel for some of you that part of me is saying this reading that the princess in the castle is kind of... your inner child, but it's probably something that you've wanted to do since you were a child. It's like you've been waiting for permission. It's like when we think of the inner child, children don't really ask for permission. They just do whatever they want. But when we look at it like in the sense of this wall being built around something, it's almost like you're waiting for someone to give you permission. And even when we look at the near future, you have you showing up as the Hangman, Pisces. And the Hangman is kind of like a card of being stuck in limbo. It's like he has all the information he needs. His head is glowing on this card. He doesn't need anything else. He's already made all the sacrifices that he's needed to make. He's sacrificed the use of his hands. He's sacrificed the use of his legs as well in that hanging position. So it's almost like you've already sacrificed everything that you can possibly imagine to have something in your life or to deserve something, but now it's time to kind of like let something out. Over the next few months, you do have the Tower. The Tower, like I said, can, a lot of people make it way scarier than it actually is. These people are kind of falling out of the tower. There's two people on this card as well, Pisces. One person in the red over here, they're kind of like diving headfirst out. This person here is like pushed out. They're kind of falling backwards. It's like they're totally shocked. They're totally surprised. It's like the tower's on fire. There's smoke, but they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, right? Like, seriously, it's like the tower's on fire. You didn't know that you were going to be forced out of the tower. So I feel like you kind of have a choice. It's like you can jump out of the tower and you can kind of rip the Band-Aid off and make something happen and let something out into the world, or the universe is going to do it for you. The tower always reminds me that of like Saturn energy. You know, it's like the tower is kind of like the universe making something happen if you don't do it. And these people, they're falling back down to earth. You know, they're being grounded in reality. So that's why the tower isn't really a bad card, because you're being brought back down to earth. You're grounding something in reality. You know, the tower represents the walls being built up too high around something. And that's the energy you get from the reading, is this like trying to keep something pristine. Like I said, trying to keep something in its original packaging, but in doing that, it's like it doesn't get used. You know, it's like if you've ever met, I don't know, I have like friends who collect stuff like collectibles, and it's like, yeah, okay, they have like a really nice piece of plastic that is wrapped in plastic that never gets used. It's like, it's cool. I mean, if you're into collecting and things like that, but it's like it never gets used. It never gets played with. It's just kind of like there, you know, existing. And I feel that for you. For a lot of you, I feel like it's something inspiring. This Ace of Wands is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. But again, I feel that what, you know, this is why I don't really do Celtic crosses and things like that, because I read intuitively, and, you know, sometimes I feel like the reading is going in a different direction than what the Celtic cross is trying to say. But, you know, what I would say here is that I do feel that there could be people in your life who are inspiring you to take action. But I kind of feel like the thing that is wrapped in plastic would be very inspiring to other people. So it's like maybe you have a book inside of you. Maybe you have a story that you need to share, or a YouTube channel that you need to create. It's like there's something inside of you that needs to come out with this Ace of Wands. And the reason I believe and feel intuitively it's coming up in this area of your closest relationships is because it's going to inspire people around you in your life. And that's like really what I get here with this Ace of Wands. That's really all I'm getting. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Seven of Cups. I feel that you do feel that there are many directions to go in with the Seven of Cups. It's like you understand that there are all these options and choices that you have. I kind of feel really good about this Seven of Cups for you, Pisces. It's saying to me that you kind of understand that you are more in control of your reality than you realize. And it's like you understand that there are multiple paths for you moving forward in your life. So I kind of like this energy. It's clearly something that is probably going to lead to a lot of happiness. That Seven of Cups energy. Even your outcome is the Justice card. It's like cause and effect. You're understanding the certain actions that you're taking in your life and what each action is going to lead to. I see you being very almost like obsessive about this. I don't really think that's a bad thing unless it becomes an obsession. I'm not saying obsessive as in an obsession. I'm saying like this month, I think it's just something you're paying attention to on a very deep level. But what I feel like you're paying attention to is like the actions that you take and the results that you get, which again is going to make you very successful clearly and is going to lead to a lot of success. So kind of an interesting reading, Pisces, and I feel it's going to lead to a major change, but this needs to be, something needs to kind of come out of its wrapper here, and something needs to be revealed. We're going to pull one more card here as your total outcome. Damn, you have this power move card, Pisces, and it's funny that I was talking about 5D. This is my 5D chess card. It's like, look at this. There's like literally a 5D shape on this card, and there's like a chess piece at the top there, and there's a key that is unlocking something. And what was I saying at the beginning of the reading? I feel like you need to tap more into that like 5D crazy Pisces out there woo-woo energy this week, because that's where your best ideas are going to come from. And I also feel it's going to help you move kind of like, it's like you're unwrapping something. It wouldn't really surprise me, Pisces, if this is, you know, kind of like a major story for you this year. Wouldn't surprise me at all, because Jupiter in your sign, and it's like something wants to come out, something wants to be revealed to the world, and there are like a lot of major changes happening right now. So I feel that for a lot of you, something that maybe you've been protecting is maybe like an idea, a belief, something you want to share. It's time for it to be revealed, Pisces, because revealing it is probably going to lead to success, abundance, happiness, the sun, whatever. I feel like if you don't do it, it's like that tower. I'm seeing the tower more as like the universe saying, if you don't do this, then there's going to be a tower moment. I don't think the universe is threatening you. I feel like the universe is just like saying, hey, like let's get this moving. I don't even think I don't feel this intense energy off the tower either. I mostly think that it's more saying like if you're, let's say you're working on a business, but there's something else that needs to be unwrapped that you actually want to do, I would do that thing. I have weird stories popping into my head here. It's like, I don't know if you've ever met someone who hasn't been socialized as a child. Kind of like I always think of kids who are homeschooled. I'm not saying that if you homeschooled your kids, there's anything wrong with that. But if sometimes, not all, right? I'm generalizing here. Yes, I understand that, but I'm just making a point, right? For the million comments I'm going to get for saying this. What I would say is if you've ever met a homeschooled kid, some of them can be a little bit awkward, right? Because it's like they haven't experienced socializing on a deep level. And that, again, yes, I understand that's not true for every single one, but what I would say here is I kind of get that feeling of something that needs to be socialized with the world. I don't want to leave the reading because I'm trying to figure out what it is. But anyway, we're going to clarify this reading. I will have a link down below to the clarification. It's free and it's on YouTube, so you can just click it and it's down below. It's like a free extended for the reading. So we're going to go ahead and clarify this reading, and we're going to see where it's going. So thank you for being here, Pisces. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising as well for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But again, link down below, and I'll try to remember to pin it somewhere up here as well. So thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.